Hi, my name is Brett Truitt. I've been a professional editor, visual effects artist, and visual effects supervisor for over 20 years here in Los Angeles, working in projects at the highest level in television and film. Recently, I decided that I was going to venture out on my own and try to become a truly independent filmmaker. And this channel, Resolve Mastery, is part of that strategy. One of the things I want to do is disseminate my years of knowledge working in post-production with the people on YouTube. I've seen that a lot of people have moved towards DaVinci Resolve, which is my tool of choice, something I've been using for years. If you're curious about my background, check out my IMDB link. It's going to be in the description below. But what I'm doing now is I've started this channel here on YouTube, Weird Beautiful Things, where I'm making films, talking about virtual production, and I'm vlogging about my decision to leave my career in Hollywood and strike out on an independent path at this late phase of my career and life. But this channel, Resolve Mastery, is going to be all about sharing my knowledge about Resolve. I'm also offering paid coaching courses, and this video is going to be a Zoom recording of one of those actual coaching courses with one of my students, Brittany. So I wanted to show you guys exactly how this works so you can see if it's something you're really interested in. If you like what you see, sign up for a free consultation on resolvemastery.com and we can go from there. Anyway, I'm going to put most, if not all, of this coaching session. It's pretty long, like 2 hours, but I think it might be very useful to anybody watching. I'm not sure I'm going to do chapters yet, but let me know if you want chapters. I'll go in and put them in later if you want. Anyway, thanks for watching. And like I said, if you want a free consultation, go to resolvemastery.com. But I hope you enjoy this. Thanks.
All right, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good over here with my technical difficulties.
Well, wasn't too bad. Got it figured out. Yeah, I got your project. Um, so I could show you how I don't know if you ever imported a project that someone sent you before, but we could start with
You
that.
know what? I'm very glad that you said you want to start with that because I have it on the drive, but it's not on
Yeah,
this work computer. So now that I'm on the work computer, I have it pulled up on the drive and I'm like, oh shoot, how do I import this project?
sure.
So
So
thank
so
you.
here's yeah, so here's what you sent me. It's I unzipped it already and moved it to another one of my hard drives, but
Hmm.
it's just these files, the autumn test, which looks like something from your line cut autumn, and then DaVinci Resolve project. So this is actually relatively easy. You can just do that. And look at that. Now we have our project.
Wait, why can't I
So,
see?
oh, I'm sorry. Duh. Let me turn on sharing. That was my fault. I'll
Oh,
do it
okay.
again. I forgot.
I thought it
I
was
forgot you
something
weren't
else that
look.
I
No,
did.
no. I haven't shared my screen with you yet.
Okay.
But I'm gonna do that right now. So let's go. I'll share the whole desktop with you. Great. So I'll do
Okay.
this again. Uh, I'm gonna close
Yeah.
this. So
So do I press new project when I get to?
well, you can just, I'm gonna re-import this so you can see what I did. It's actually very simple. So let's go ahead and close this project. Okay, so and I'm gonna delete this one because this is me importing yours. So right now I've got an empty, that's my stuff. I just put it in a folder called old. And anytime you want to organize, you can make new folders in here.
Hmm.
So you can actually organize so you've got a couple of levels of organization. These are your libraries. You can have multiple libraries. You can have local. You can see I've got two libraries here. I also got several cloud libraries, but you have to have cloud storage as well for that.
Hmm.
But and what the cloud libraries are nice because you can share those remotely. So anybody that has if you've shared a project with them and then they have your password, or they have their own, if you've shared it with them and they have their own Black Magic account, and you shared it directly with them on their email, then they'll be able to open any of those projects. Sometimes it's a little slow. It's probably because I'm running Zoom here, so because it is internet based. But and we'll switch back to the local one, which is probably the way you're working. But I just wanted to show
Okay.
you that there's three types of libraries. There's local, there's network, and there's cloud. So local are just stored on the machine that you're working on. Uh, the network ones really are if you're in a facility that has kind of its own internal network and has some sort of need to be able to keep a secure network that everybody can see, right? So there you go. Now this is my actual cloud libraries. So I have two of those. And then I don't use network libraries because I'm not in that kind of situation. But most of the time, you're going to use these local. So, but these are the three types of libraries. So that's one level of organization. You make a library. Mine's right now just called local database, but you can see I have a YouTube one. You can name them whatever you want. You can add another one down here.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I'm going to show you once you're in a library, how you bring a new project in. So I've stored I unzipped the project you sent me with the media and stored it over here. So this is the unzipped media. There's the Resolve project. There's the video file, and then this media files folder. It's got it in there.
Right.
So it's real simple. You can just drag and drop it, and then
Okay,
it'll
let me
open
try
up.
that again because I'm like,
Yeah.
mine did it, but then it said that it didn't have any media. It just showed up as
And
red.
mine doesn't either. You're going to have to fix that. See, mine's offline. I'm going to show you how to do that. There's a couple of ways we can deal with that.
Okay.
So the way you deal with that, so you'll get the project. So now this is just the project file, but the media is offline. The reason why is because this path right here,
Mm-hmm.
users Ray desktop autumn test, unless you have that exact same path on the machine you're using now, and that file is there, it won't link. So there's two ways you can handle that. The easiest way and the quickest way, if you just have one or two files, is you right click on them. You go to clip operations, change source
Wait,
folder
how do I get to my how do I get to my master at the bottom?
to your master. You mean your projects?
Yeah.
So the home button down in the lower right hand corner always gives you your projects. And then you can drag
Yeah, mine
your
just
the
looks
pro
differently, I guess.
Do you want to share your screen so I can see it?
I just have it in a different view. Okay, now I have mine in list view like yours. I had it in gallery view, that's why.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I
That's
was so
that's
confused. Like, what's wrong with mine? But okay.
yeah, yeah. Yours probably look like that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I like it like this because I can see more. But yeah,
yeah, that
it's
makes more
okay.
sense. I like this better. Thank you.
So yeah, you can now just drag your project into that open library, and it should make a new project that has the name
Okay,
project.
right. So then you
And
said
then
I could
once you
right click.
so once you're in the project, yeah. So the quickest way in this circumstance is to right click on the clip, go to clip operations, go to change source folder, and now so this is where it was. All you need to do is go browse and tell it where it is now. So for me, here's where it is. Uh, right there. And you want to go, okay, so it's just desktop. So if I should be able to go to that level. Let's see. No, that didn't work. We need to go one deeper. Clip operations, change source folder. It's in here. There you go. So now it's online. See?
I did it! Yay! Oh my God, thank you. I was over
Yep.
here. I'm about to give up on myself. Okay. Awesome.
So that is the easiest way. I'm going to show you one other way. If I undo this for myself, so mine's unlinked. This
Okay.
Now this is only if I would only use this method if you have a lot of files. um, and they're kind of were strewn about lots of different places. And what this method is for, this is really if you have a project that you're going to be sharing between a lot of workstations, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe one of them is a Windows machine, one of them is a Mac, one of them has just different storage setups than others. So there's another way, and here's what we do. This is a little more complicated, but it's really good if you have a lot of files. So I'm going to show
Mm-hmm.
you, and I'll show you a couple times because this may be a little overwhelming at first. So you go to DaVinci Resolve Preferences. Now, right now, I have one storage on this system, which is just my movies folder on my user. I'm going to add another storage, which is going to be this where I'm storing this file. So that's going to be the first thing. So,
Okay.
so the first thing is I go add,
Mm-hmm.
I go to GRAID. This is just a drive on my system just called GRAID. And then I
Mm-hmm.
hit open. Now, what I need to do is get, well, actually, I would need to even go deeper than this. This may be a little more complicated than it's worth, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see if I can do it. And then if I'm able to do it, I'll kind of walk you through step by step. This may be a little trickier because of the different levels. I'm actually going to step all the way into this media files folder. I'm going to add that as a storage. All right. So now it's all the way through to the media files. And now what I should be able to do is do what's called a mapped mount. Tell it where it originally was, and
Mm-hmm.
now say, this is where it is now. So what I want to do, I'm going to save this for a second, then I'm going to come back out here and I'm going to look at the file path where it originally was, this guy right
Mm-hmm.
here. And basically what I need to do is, oh, that's actually not where it originally was. That's where I put it. Let me import it again. I'm going to do something here so we can kind of get
Okay.
back. So what I just did, this kind of stuff what I just did right here is actually not tied to the project. This is tied to this workstation. So when you do settings and these kinds of things, it's usually for the system, not the project. So anything you do in here applies to every project on that system.
Okay.
So that's a little bit of a difference. That's what the preferences are. So that's preferences up here, project settings down here. This is all about the project. This is about the workstation. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to delete this project. And we'll just close it first. I'll close it. And then I'm going to re-import it so it has the original path. And then we're going to try to
Mm-hmm.
use this method to make it link. So first I'm going to just close it, close current project. So there it is. I'm going to go ahead and delete it. So I just hit my backspace key or delete key. Now I'm going to go back to where it is on my system. Okay, so let's see. Oh, that's up here. Sorry, I have a few monitors on this system. There we go. This is it. We'll bring it down into this one. Okay. So it's in this GRAID drive. There's where it
Mm-hmm.
is. So we're just going to drag the project in again. Okay, does the same thing, makes me a project. But now instead of right-clicking and doing the change, which you can always do, it does work very well. This is another method, like I said, if you have a lot of files. So we've already added this. So essentially, I just told it where that file is. Now I look at the original file path. Since we've re-imported it, it should be back to where it was. Yeah, there it is. So I can take this file path, users Ray desktop, and I
Mm-hmm.
can essentially make an alias for it up here. And here's what you do. So we go volumes graid godled.dra media files is now the same as what that was. So here's what we do. We click in this mapped map and we type that in, or you can copy it even. Here, I'm going to show you the way. Well, actually, I can't because I don't have that system. So I'm just going to type it in. So it's users slash ray slash desktop. So basically what I'm telling it is this is where it was on that other system,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's here. So that's really all I'm doing. So users Ray desktop, I'm just going to users Ray desktop. We got that right. Is the same as this on this system. Now, when I hit save, nothing's going to happen because I actually have to restart the software. So we'll quit that and do that. And now when I open that, that media should come back. We should see it. And the benefit of this is if you had a bunch of files in there and maybe you had different directories, there are ways that there are times where that method is better. I think for
Mm-hmm.
this particular project, the first method I showed you is the best way. Yeah, see now look, there it is.
Yeah.
Now here's what's funny. See, it'll actually go to the right path now, but
Mm-hmm.
it's doing it because I told it that path on this machine, this is this. So even though that's where, but the great thing about it when you do this, so say we were using some sort of cloud network storage where we were sharing projects across multiple systems. If I do it like this won't break the link when you open it on that other system, the original system. It'll still have this because, like I said, this only happens on the machine that I'm working on. This is a setting that just applies when you're working on this particular computer. So that's the benefit of this is if you have a system and you got right now you're not really doing that where you have multiple editing systems, but say you decided to, but you do, you said you're using the second license on your laptop or something like that,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So if you have a system, so one option for you to do that where you can work uh, when you're in the office or on your laptop is to get a cloud library. Remember, I showed you the different kinds of libraries. Instead of a local library, you do a cloud library.
Mm-hmm.
Relatively inexpensive. I think you can get a library for like $5 a month or something like that. And then
Oh,
it's
not bad.
stored on the library. Yeah, that's very, very cheap. And as long as, and now you can pay a little bit extra to actually store media as well. But if you have it, I mean, ultimately, I think I pay like $20 a month and I get like 5 terabytes of media as well, or something like that. I get quite a
Mm-hmm.
bit. So I can actually, if I have fast enough internet, I can store the whole project up there. And then I can open it up on my laptop and I can see everything. So that's if you start getting into a situation like that, you might want to use this method.
Okay.
But if you're just moving it between systems and not using a cloud, not just know that if you moved it back off of your laptop back onto the other system, you'd have to do that
Mm-hmm.
again.
Yeah, I don't
And
like
so
that. I
what
want to do it the easiest way possible.
and so that's no, this way that I just showed you, you wouldn't have to. But
Mm-hmm.
if you do the method that I first showed you, you have to do that every time you move it from one system to another, because
Right.
then you've actually changed the link. With this one, we're just basically using an alias. We say, oh, if you see that path, actually go here instead.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go back onto another system, it doesn't have that information, so it reverts back to the original path. So your media would still be linked. So that's the
Gotcha.
difference.
Okay, so I
So
have a
those
quick
are the
question.
sure.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no, that's it. That's that. Those are the two ways you can get media back if you move from one system to another, one computer to another one.
Okay. So when I was at home, I decided to take a break from editing on my monitors. And I decided to take it to the TV because I'm like,
Okay.
overall, you want a cinematic look? Let me try editing on a TV. So I edited on a good flat screen TV and everything. I was able to really like focus on everything that I wanted to edit. I was very happy with how I got his hands to match his face. Now, my issue is the fact that when I pull it up, now that I'm at work and I'm on the Asus monitors, it does not look like
Doesn't
it
look
did
the
on
same.
the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a so the problem is the TVs you have at home and everything is not likely calibrated. I don't know what kind of setting you have on it, but
Mm,
uh you want to be careful because I have no idea. Like all TVs come with all these different settings. My recommendation is if you want to do something like this, make sure that your TV is set to like the cinematic settings, or
mm-hmm.
they on a if it's a relatively new television, they have this setting called let's see what do they call it? They call it filmmaker mode, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so what that is that's supposed to get out of the way and allow you. So like when I was working in big TV and you're working in all these suites and color correcting all this stuff and you're trying to work it to a standard so that it's going to look the same or as
Mm-hmm.
close to the same. So when you move it from one system to another, but we have multi-million dollar monitors or now they're probably like the monitors that we're using over there were probably 50 to $100,000 each. So that's the first
Yeah.
thing. And then the second thing is they're calibrated by professional engineers. They come in and run every month a full calibration. I do a full calibration on my systems here,
Mhm.
because I know how to do it. It's not easy to do, but you can. And those Asus monitors, I think, can self-calibrate. Uh,
Okay.
but if you're working on a monitor, a TV at home that has no calibration or isn't even in filmmaker mode, and the
Mhm.
other thing is, my question for you was, how are you using it? So are you, there's two ways. I want to show you something in Resolve. There's this thing called video clean feed.
Yep.
This is
I
the
I did that.
that Oh, is that what you're doing? Okay. Because that is
Mhm.
definitely the best way to do that. Because theoretically, if you do that and you set it to one of these for your external monitor,
Yeah.
these are just two other monitors I have connected to this system, right? Um,
Mhm.
but the way I work, I've calibrated every monitor here. Uh, and I have a probe. Here, let me see. I can show you something like this. Here, I'm gonna turn on my camera for a second. I'm trying to light. It's dark in this room. But I'm gonna show you what I use to do that, so you guys can get something like this. But that ACES monitor might need a different treatment. Might not be able to use this thing exactly on that. I'd have to look into that, but you could definitely use it on your computer monitors. Let me find my sharing. Let's turn off sharing just for a second so I can turn on my camera. So it's this thing. It's probably
Okay.
backward. Data color.
Get a color. Yeah, no, it's not backward.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's the one I'm using. This is an older one. It's called the Spider X Elite, and it's
Mhm.
basically as a system. It's a monitor probe. Now you can get very expensive, but you run it a calibration. You put it on the monitor, and it actually uses that lens to evaluate the color fidelity. And
Mm.
you do so when you do that and you do it properly, you can get every monitor that you're working with to match. And
Mhm.
this is what you would want to do because so if you had something like that, now you might not be able to use it on your television, and there's some very expensive software when you're calibrating televisions called CalMan, but I think it's like $1,500 for a license on that. So I use a couple of other techniques, and this is one of the other ones that I use. So when I'm calibrating a television, I use this thing, this Blu-ray. It's called
Okay.
HD Benchmark.
Mhm.
Spears and Munsell. Now, this one is designed for HD televisions in Rec 709, which is mainly what you're doing. Even if you're using a UHD television,
Yeah.
when you're looking at it off of a Blu-ray player in Rec 709, you can still use something like this. And this is basically a visual calibration system. So
Uh-huh.
it brings up a bunch of these patterns, these video patterns, and you basically look at them and you make adjustments to till the pattern looks the right way. So, and it even comes with these silly little glasses. They're blue only that you
Oh,
can
that's
use
cute.
to
Like the
filter out. Yeah, unless your television, some television actually can filter out the blue channel by themselves. But even if you don't
uh,
have that, you can use these to do that. So between something like this and something like this, you can
mhm.
calibrate all of your monitors for not a lot of money. If you want to get really into it, you can spend a lot of money, but then there's also a whole technical side. There's a whole art to learning how to do it as well. So
Yeah.
this is kind of the cheap way to do it. The Blu-ray and this thing. This for the computers and this for the televisions. Now, like I said, your Aces monitor, those I've worked with a different model of those, but I believe they have self-calibration mode, means they'll calibrate themselves.
Yeah.
And those are being run off of your what is it, the Blackmagic Mini, that system that says so when you're running it that way and not through the OS, that's actually the highest quality, most accurate picture you can get. So the system you have at work is that Aces monitor is the one to really judge color on, especially if you can get it to self-calibrate. But it's probably was self-calibrated out of the box, like in the factory.
Yeah.
But I'll look at that model, but I'm pretty sure that you can run a self-calibration on them.
Okay.
Let me see.
But clearly
I
this
don't want
is
to
gonna
get,
be too dark then. Uh,
yeah, so I would trust that monitor much more than I would trust your television at home
yeah.
because the way that system is set up here at your office is more of kind of a professional setup, and those Asus monitors most likely were calibrated at the factory, so it's probably pretty accurate. Because those are the two factors. You want to use some sort of video capture system, which you guys have, and you want to use a professional calibrated monitor, which you also
Yeah.
have. The one thing I'm not sure about is what the calibration state on it is. But let me see here. I'm going to look at the model of that, and I'm going to quickly look up if you can self-calibrate it. Bring this over here. Because I have your layout here. I'd be curious if that one has the self-calibration. All right, so this is your document. So it's this, right? No, one, that's different. Okay, let's go to the edit bay, which I guess is probably down at the bottom. Okay, so yeah, this mini capture and playback unit, that's the first thing. You already have that.
Mhm.
And then the next thing is going to be the monitor itself. Where's that? Is there... I guess they don't have the monitor in here, do they? Oh, there we go. That's it. Asus ProArt monitors. So let's copy that and say self-calibration. Okay, so yeah, there you go. So it looks like they probably do. I thought they did. So you can do a little bit of research. This Asus Pro, you might even tell you how to do it. Yeah, access the OSD menu, select calibration. So you can go through this process that it describes right here and calibrate that monitor that's at your studio, the one you're using with your editing system. And once you've
Okay.
done that, that's going to be the most accurate between that and your video capture system. That's going to be an extremely accurate way of looking at your video. And I would trust that. The TV, we could with it probably has that filmmaker mode. That'd be the first thing. And with a regular
Yeah.
television, if you have a Blu-ray player, you can use something like this to calibrate it. It may not be exact, but it'll get it a lot closer. Um, and be sure you're always using that clean feed mode because that's supposed to. So
Yes.
all OSs, Windows and Mac OS, both have color management built into them. And if you're not using the clean feed mode, your whatever kind of color management that's going on inside of your operating system is being applied to um, your video as well.
Okay.
And there's some new stuff in the latest version of Resolve where they're messing with some of this stuff. So it gets tricky, but I would calibrate that monitor and then trust that monitor. That's
Okay.
your best bet. And then
Okay.
hopefully when you render out an output, if you use, like I said, the Rec 709A, that should keep the gamma good. But I would always color correct looking at that monitor and assuming that that monitor is what it's going to look like.
Gotcha. Now, what I will say is that while we were going through that, I did adjust the transparency a little bit and the size, and now I feel way more pleased. Like, let me see if I can show you
Oh, okay.
on here. Am I able to? Oh, that's not the
You
camera.
should be able
Huh?
to share.
I forgot. Oh,
No,
duh.
you could do the share
How do
if you're
I
on the
do
Mac, yeah.
that? Let me see.
So it should be down at the bottom where it says there's a green arrow that says share.
Share and request.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
And then does it
Then you
like
just
show?
choose which monitor. It should ask you which monitor. So try hitting share again.
Okay, share again. Okay, 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 cool.
Now it's going to ask you what you want to share.
This one.
Okay, I see it. Let me turn off this light.
I'm like, how do I make this one full screen? Because I had it big on the other thing.
Uh, so if you just hit Command F, it'll go full screen.
Okay. Um, There we go. Okay. What do you think?
So what are we looking at here? What you did some
The
color
color.
correction on these? Is that yeah, okay.
Yes.
So It looks good. I mean, I would look at it here. Let me see. So this is the same footage you gave me, right?
Yes.
You just adjusted the color correction yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because the
So the
main thing I
original,
would
I'm sorry, go ahead.
the main thing I would always want to look at is uh how does it look on the scope? Because I don't trust
Yeah.
zoom and my monitor and all that kind of stuff. Like, are the skin tones falling on that line?
Can you see the
Uh
scope?
yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks good. So if that's his skin tone,
Yep.
you're golden. So remember the thing I showed you the other day about turning on the cursor thing? So that when you roll over
The
a part of the image?
yeah, the
Yeah,
qualifier.
yeah, yeah. So if that's on you, if you roll over his skin, it'll show you on the scope where what you're actually looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if that looks like your vector scope's off the screen for me, but if it looks like it's
Uh,
following on that line,
yeah, that's
yeah,
him.
okay, then you're good. I mean, and then it becomes an issue of how's the brightness. The brightness looks pretty good. Roll over his face again. I just want to see where we're on the waveform, which is the one on the left. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, you could make him brighter if you wanted, although I wouldn't make him too much brighter.
I'm
Uh,
excited.
yeah, and you could play with the saturation if you feel like it's too, it starts to be it's a mixture of like science and art, this kind of thing, because you do want
Yeah.
to be able to look at the scope and go, okay, everything's where it's supposed to be. But then you start
Hmm.
to make subjective judgments like, well, I'd like it to be a little more contrasty, or I'd like him to be a little less saturated, or I'd like him to be a little
Yeah.
brighter or a little darker, so all those things that becomes your judgment. That becomes the creative part. You get to choose that. Now,
So
there are
looking back
parameters
at
if
the
you,
before, let me see. Oh, why does it keep doing that? Okay. I'm trying to, there we go. So
yeah,
there's the before. Really
yeah,
washed out.
click on it again.
And I'm pretty pleased. I hope he
Yeah, and
likes.
if it
I
looks,
haven't showed him
yeah,
yet.
if it looks good on that monitor, I would say it looks good.
Yeah, it
And
does.
I would even try to figure out if you could do that self-calibration thing. That way you know that it's like
Mm-hmm.
been recently calibrated. I think it's pretty quick. It may take 5 or 10 minutes to do that, but it's basically
Mm-hmm.
got what those monitors have is it has one of these things kind of built into it. And
Yeah.
so that's why it can kind of do it on its own. So yeah, that's a great monitor to get accurate color out of. So if it looks good there, I would say it's going to look good.
Okay. Now I'm noticing the chair. I didn't notice that at first. The chair has those blue blotches on it from the composite, I guess. I don't know if you can, let me see.
Is it below the
Uh,
where is the chair? Is it right next to? Okay, I see it. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Is that from the color correction? Turn the color correction off. Does that go away or is it?
Let's see. Oh, where did it go? Let me move bus. Go. Whoops. How can, okay, why is the
I
scope?
think yeah, you got to open all the way. If you hit Command Shift W, I think that'll actually take your scope away.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go.
What were we
So
up to again?
we're going to turn off the color correction for a second. Now, even on your panel, there's probably a button that
Nope,
says
it's
bypass. You have
still
to be
there.
in the color. Oh, it's still there.
Yeah.
Then that's probably a result of the key. You might need to adjust your ultimate. Uh,
So he wants to record for the first time tomorrow if everything goes to plan
okay.
according to his schedule. We have not done anything with the ultimate or anything in weeks. So I don't know how much help how you can assist me. I'm like, if I can put you on my laptop and take you in there with
Tomorrow? Let's see
I mean, even today, if
tomorrow
you could just show me
maybe.
what to do, something.
Yeah, I mean we can go in there. I mean it's if you want to
Okay.
go over the ultimate for sure because I don't have an ultimate
Yeah.
here. So I can't bring up the controls for it here, but if you want to log in and show me your interface, I can kind of walk you through uh those it's pretty simple parameters. You do the auto key, and then I always go to the veil and the matte process.
Wait, wait a
just to
minute.
make it look good.
Okay, so you said first you go to what?
So there's a in the upper right corner,
Auto
there's that little like, yeah, it's the
like the reset.
circular arrow. Yeah, yeah. That's so once you've got your stage lit up and your camera's on and everything's running and
Mhm.
you've let the lights warm up for a second, and you if you especially if you've got him or somebody, uh, it can really be anybody could stand in for him because you're just trying to make sure that the lighting's going to work and that you set the key for the way the lighting is. Anytime you relight, you're going to want to reset your ultimats because you might get this kind of
Okay.
problem if you don't. So if the lighting doesn't change, you can use it the same, or you can store presets on your ultimat for certain lighting configurations and things like
Yeah.
that. But if you still see that issue when the color correction is gone, then it's likely an issue with your key.
Okay.
So
So
yeah, I use, let's see if I can I find a good tutorial video. I know, let's see if I can find somebody using their Ultimate. Yeah. Oh, this is actually from Black Magic. Have I watched this one?
if
Yeah,
it's
but
the
this one's
guy with the girl, we all watched them. It was okay. I felt like when you were here, it was better.
um
I still have your
yes.
video. Well, it was a video that I recorded.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I here I'm gonna put it in the Zoom chat. I'm gonna put this link uh to this video because this is actually from Black Magic and it's a pretty in-depth video. It's like 20 minutes, 18 minutes.
Oh,
So
I seen this.
now I'm trying to see if yeah, they do get into the software side. So they go through, this is a full, okay, and they go, yeah, I think this is going to be a good one for you to watch.
Okay.
Because this is from Black Magic and they go through all the wiring, which is already done for you, but then they do get into how to set it up at the end, how to use the software setup.
Yeah.
And it actually goes through some of the more advanced settings where you can get things like if you wanted to put titles in there so you could have something come up in front of him. And you could do
Yeah.
it all live. You could do it. I mean, if you with the gear you guys have, it's sophisticated enough where you could do live switching with
Yeah.
graphics, and you could literally do everything, including the graphics,
I
right
love
through
to
your
do
switcher. But this video I think will help you
that. Mm-hmm. Thank
with
you.
your Ultimate setup. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting this on my little nose right now.
And I think I'm pretty sure I can save out this chat when I send you the video for this. Are we recording? Yeah, I thought I was recording. Oh, it is recording. It is.
Yeah.
You've been recording. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I would say that looks good. Especially if it looks good on your monitor. On the scopes, it looks good. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'd be careful about using your television unless you can get it.
Yeah, for sure.
If you can get one of those Blu-rays and you can get it to line up. And
Mm-hmm.
what I would do if I were you, if you do something like that, is work on something at the office and get the grade where you like it, then take it home and see how close it matches at home.
Smart. Okay.
Because that way, and then you can even tweak your adjustments a little more so that it is a better match. So
Yeah.
it's all you're eyeballing it at that point. You're not really using instruments to make sure it's 100% accurate. You
Yeah.
can, but you're going to have to spend some money and gain some expertise to do that. That is possible, but it's not as easy as it sounds. uh, but you can use your eyes, and if you trust your eyes, you can get it so that you feel like what you see at home is the same as what you see there. Then you're in good shape.
I don't like this view. Now
You don't.
his chin looks red, like in his lip area. Like he looks great, like head on, and then you change that view, and then I don't like the way.
Yeah, that is a little red. I would say desaturate it a little bit because if the
Okay.
skin tones are falling in the right place on the scope, then What you're probably seeing is something that's just got a little too much saturation.
How do I get back out of here? Uh, you said it's Command F, right?
Yeah, Command F should take you off of full screen.
Yeah, I need to. Oh yeah, I was on the wrong screen. Okay.
There you go.
So then I need to go to main.
Yeah, so the hands, yeah, so whatever's you're doing your main correction on,
Yeah.
for him, I would desaturate just a little bit.
Like, is it moving? Because I'm not seeing nothing.
Bring up your vector scope. You should
Oh, my
see.
scope is moving.
Yeah, there you go.
I guess it was just cranked way up there. But then
Yeah.
now he looks plain.
Yeah, you're kind of you might play with the lift as well, maybe brighten him up, kind of work with those two things together. Um,
Is it a way that I could, let me see, because I'm like, if I do too much, what if because I really loved how this looked.
yeah. So if you want to do a different correction on that other angle, you can. You'll have to make cuts,
Yeah.
but there's a way to do that. That's not terribly hard. Let me go to my resolve. I think I can do this. Um, it's where is it under? It's under timeline. Oh, it's not on this side. It's on this side. Okay. Timeline, detect scene cuts. So if you're in edit mode,
Uh-huh.
here, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to take over to show you the screen real quick. Show you my
Oh,
screen. So,
how do I stop it? Or did it
so
already?
up at the top, it'll say
Okay.
stop. You see the little red stops. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. I'm going to share same desktop. So if you've got, I'm not going to, this is something, it looks like you've got a few things going on in here. This is your project. Oh, maybe not.
Mhm. Yeah,
Either
I
way.
didn't make any cuts yet. I just went
Okay.
straight to color.
Okay. So I'm going to put it in a new timeline just to show you. So I can right click, I can create new timeline using selected clips. So I'm going to call this scene detect.
Hmm.
Now, once I've got this new timeline, which is just like what you have, no color correction or anything on it yet.
Hmm.
If I want to cut it up, I do this detect scene cuts. And what it's going to do is going to analyze our little clip and it's going to find the cuts.
So wait. So when I sent you the project, it didn't send you anything that I edited. So you don't have any of my node trees or anything?
No, I do. I do.
Okay.
I'll open it back up. I'm just doing this on a fresh timeline.
Okay.
So this is your, yeah, see, I have it. It's all right there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't want to cause any too much weirdness on your timeline. So I just did a new one to show you what it did. But see now what's happened here is we have all these cuts. So if I'm using my down arrow and just stepping to
Mhm.
each cut. So, but the beauty of this, and here this is where we can see what.
Do that again. I'm sorry.
So once I've done this, so if I undo, I'll just take it back.
Okay.
Undo. There it goes. Okay, so now that's without it. So all I did was I made a timeline with your clip. No color correction. That's just a clean timeline. And I called it scene detect. So now if I wanted to detect all these cuts that were done in your autumn that
Yeah.
aren't showing up in my timeline, I go timeline, detect scene cuts. And it goes through and analyzes the footage and finds cuts.
Same.
So if you didn't actually edit this in Resolve, like you didn't, you edited it with your Autumn,
Yeah.
you don't have those cuts, but this will give them to you. Now, and I'll show you how that's going to help you with what you're talking about. So now you have all these cuts. So now when you go to color, look at that. You've got every shot as its own
Yeah.
shot. So now if I go to your first timeline, let's see, where is it? Yeah, let's go over here. I should be able to change. Oh, there it is. So we'll go to your timeline. This is it. I'm going to grab this as a still. That's the correction that you did. Okay, now I can go back to the other timeline.
Where you have to grab it as still right click?
I right click, grab still.
Still,
So
okay.
what that has done for me is now stored your correction.
Like a LUT.
Yeah, more than a lot, but it stored the whole correction. So then I go back to scene detect. So you said you liked that correction, although you made another adjustment here.
Yeah.
But you like it on this wide shot, but not so much on this close-up, right?
Right.
So if I wanted it just on the wide shots, here's how I would do it. I can drag now this correction straight over there. There it is. Now it's on the wide shot, but only that one.
Okay.
But now if I just said, you know what, I want it on all the wide shots, but none of the others. So I'm gonna reset all grades. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm command clicking on all of these wide shots. And since I can kind of look at them and go, okay, so I know that I want the same correction for all of these. Okay, so now I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to add into a new group, and I'm going to call that wide. And now you see the little links down there? That means they're all in the same group. So now I can say,
Mhm.
okay, I want to add that correction to all of these shots. So I'm going to do group pre-clip, and then I'm going to drag this correction over. Now, every one of those shots, wide shots, has that correction. And anything I do to that correction, I'm gonna just do something extreme so you can really see it, is now
Mhm.
there. So I only have to correct it one time. Or if I undo it, go, oh, I don't like that. Now again, they're all back. So now
Mhm.
now you've got 3 cameras, right? So you can do a correction for each camera that way. So you could then go all of these, right? Which are like your
Yeah.
mediums, right? So you go all your mediums. You just do the same thing. You go through and hold down command, get them all selected. That's it. That looks like all the mediums. So then I can right click, add into a new group, call this medium. And then I can now, as a base, just I can do now it's already been in the group. So I go immediately to group pre-clip, drag the correction in there. Now all those have that correction, but now I can do something different. If I don't like this one, I'm just doing again something extreme. Again, now all of those have that correction. So that's a nice way you can basically just do 3 corrections, one for each shot, but all of the shots that are from that camera get that correction. And that way they're separated so you don't have to use the same correction for everything. So if you really like it on the wide, you leave it there. And then you come in and look at it on this close up, or maybe I think that this was the angle you didn't love it on, right?
Yeah.
So, we can go here. And this doesn't look terrible on my monitor, but this monitor is actually a little uncalibrated right now because I took it out of this is a laptop and I took it out of the house and used it. And I need to turn up the brightness, which kind of screws up your calibration. So once you've calibrated, you shouldn't mess with your brightness or anything else after that. You leave it.
Well, yeah, it doesn't look bad. Let me see, where does it look bad at? To me, it starts getting a little too much at 2 minutes and 6 seconds.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's add these to another group. Add into a new group and we'll call this profile. Profile close up. Okay. All right. So now, and we can verify that our groups are good because when we click on one of them, every other shot with the little link icon should be from that same.
What are you clicking to select multiple of them? Because I thought it would be command, but mine's only letting me click one at a time.
No, it is. To select to like go if I wanted to collect a bunch like that,
Yeah.
that's shift. But I'm doing command because we kind of have to skip over the ones we don't
Yeah,
want.
that's what I'm saying. Unless my command. Oh, I have my laptop in front of me because I'm taking notes and I'm over
Sure.
here using that keyboard. That would
Oh,
explain
I
it.
got you. Okay.
That would
Anyway, so yeah, command will allow you to
explain
select multiple
that. Gotcha.
shots and skip over others. If you just want to select a whole range of shots, you can go hold
Okay.
down shift and from the beginning to the end, it'll select everything.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So yeah, at this point,
So just three, really. Yeah.
if this guy's really the one that's bugging you,
Yeah.
you can now right now he doesn't have the correction, but let's go ahead and group pre-clip, put that same correction on him. Oh, I
Where did
see.
my group pre-clip go?
You have to have added groups. You have to make a group. So right click and then go add it into a new group and then
Yeah,
name it.
okay. Group one.
So is that working for you?
I ended up creating a new node after I grouped them.
So the first thing to do is make sure you grab a still of your correction.
Right. I have that of
And
the
you did the thing
other
where
one.
you cut them up using the detect scene cuts.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you just do what I did where you take each one, you start with maybe your wide and hold down command, select each one.
Yeah, I got
They're
those.
in the group. And then once you've got the group, you can then go on any of the clips and just go group pre-clip and then drag your still over into that and it'll give you that correction. But then if you do it for each of the three angles, make a group for each one and then drag the correction in there. Now you can adjust the correction for one angle and it'll only change it on that angle.
Okay. Let's see. Uh, okay, I'm missing something.
Here, do you want to share your screen with me?
Yeah,
I stopped so you can
because now
jump
I'm
in.
starting to get myself all confused. Where is my, am I sharing it now?
I see it.
Okay. So I don't have that under my notes.
Oh, okay. So where it says effects at the very top of the screen, click
Yeah.
that. Take that out of there. Then click nodes next to that.
Oh, shoot.
There you go. So there are your nodes. Now, if you now up above it where it says clip,
Mm-hmm.
right below the word nodes, click that arrow. There you go. There's your group pre-clip.
Gosh. Okay.
So once you've grabbed basically once you've if you've grabbed a still, so right now you're also in you're looking at LUTs, not gallery. So at the upper left, click where it says gallery. There you go. Now there's your still. So you've grabbed your still. You were looking at the LUTs uh, library versus the gallery. So now you can essentially, since you've saved that out as a still, you have that correction saved and off to the side. So you can actually just zero out everything else. Make sure that because we're going to apply that same correction in a slightly different way.
Okay.
So if you select everything, you can just start on your very first shot, hold down shift, go to your very last shot, and then just right click up in the nodes area and hit reset all grades and nodes. And that'll clear all the color corrections. So all the little rainbows will go away if you do that.
And then you said
And
reset
so
now.
you actually click just off to the side, not in the node, but in there. There you go. Then reset all grades and nodes. Okay, so now everything has no color correction on it now. So now what you can do is you can start with the wide shot. So just select one of the wide shots from down below in the clips. Doesn't matter which one. So that
Oh, the
one's
white shot.
yeah. Start with that.
Okay.
Okay, so that looks like still has a correction. Did we not get that one?
No, all of them were selected. It looks like all of them
Yeah.
are still
Yeah.
corrected.
Why did that not work? Hold on, let me make sure I didn't tell you the wrong thing. So
Yeah.
if I wanted to do, here, let me go to yours timeline instead of mine. Let's see.
I did.
Try to figure out why that didn't work. Huh. Yeah, it worked for me. But let's see why.
You try again.
So here, I'm gonna show you my screen real quick, show you what I do. Let's see. Go back to Zoom. Here, let me get this because I think I can help you with this. Okay. So let's look at this scene detector one. Now, right now, if you're at the clip level, that's where we're trying to zero out the corrections. So mine all have nothing right now.
Mm,
Mine are all being done at the group level, but I'm going to show you if you haven't applied anything in the group level, you should be able to. So say I have a few different corrections here, like that's now at the clip level. And
mm,
then that one also, I'm going to make another one at the clip level and make one more at the clip level. So if I decide, oh gosh, I really don't want those. Those are ugly, ugly, ugly. So there's 1, 2, 3 shots. When I'm in clip, have a correction. Basically hold down, click the first one, go to the end by holding shift. That selects all three, or I can do command each one.
mm.
Then I come up here, I go right clicks, reset all grades and nodes. And now at the clip level, they're all reset. That is that is that what you did? And it still didn't work? Because I'm trying to figure.
Yeah.
Let's try it again. I'm gonna stop sharing. I want you to share your screen with me again so I can watch.
Okay. Take it from the top.
All right. So you've done groups on all of them.
Yeah.
So just go to the very
Double
beginning, the
click.
first shot. Let's go to the very first shot of the timeline for a second.
Okay. Where's my little timeline thing?
Okay. Okay, so it fades up. So you got a correction. Now look, let's go to the color page and let's see what we got there. Is there a correction on that? Okay, so right there is on the clip level, there is a correction. Select that shot, just hold down command and select the shot right next to it, number 2. Okay. Now, well, because before we do this, let's make sure, does 2 have a correction too? If you click on it by itself? Okay, so both 1 and 2 have a correction. So
Yeah.
select, yeah, so select just 1 and 2. Let's just try the first 2. Uh, okay, and then up in the flow or in the nodes, just anywhere not on a node, just click and do reset all crazed nodes. Top one. Okay. Now look at both those
Yeah,
shots.
it looks like something changed.
So one and down. Now let's just take a look at 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
they're both okay, so now they're both. So that should work. You should be able to select all the rest of the shots and do that and take all those corrections off.
So weird. It looks like I didn't make too much of a correction now that I'm doing it.
Well, you're already working with LUTs in your cameras, so and if it's all lit well and cameras are set up well,
Yeah, but it seemed so dramatic when I hit bypass, and now I feel like I ain't did nothing.
oh, you can definitely see what you've done.
Okay, I'm like, oh my God, I'm over here. Josh, I can't wait to show you. Okay, anyways, what were we doing again?
So we're gonna just select all the rest of the shots and remove that correction.
Okay.
So you can even just shift, click the first one and hold down shift and go to the last one and click it, and that'll select everything in between.
Oh, I keep putting command. So
So
just shift.
so number 3, click, hold down shift, go all the way to the end, or you can do it backwards too. So now hold down your shift key
Mm-hmm.
and then click the last shot. There you go. Now right click up in your node area, reset. There you go. Now they're all gone.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you can basically start on the wide shot, the first shot. You've made a group, right?
Mm-hmm.
For all the wides. So we should see that little So right click on
Well,
that.
I made a group for all the
Oh, you made a group for
side
those.
shots.
Okay.
That was
Okay.
it.
So if those are all in a group now, you see the little link icon. Yeah, you do. So now you can go where it says clip up at the top, just below the word nodes, upper right. There you go. Click on that little arrow next there, group pre-clip. Now drag from the left under your gallery all the way to the left, drag that just onto the node.
Do I need to have all three of them selected first?
No, no, it'll because it's group, it'll do them all.
Oh yeah.
There you go. So now if you look at all the shots in that group, in group pre-clip, oh, where
Yeah.
it didn't show up. It doesn't look like it actually took. Try it again.
Oh,
So drag it onto that node and let go of it. There you go. There you go. Now it's working. So now each one of those in group pre-clip has that correction. Now you've got that circle right there. That's your hand circle. You see how dark it is? Got kind of a
oh,
dark circle there.
yeah.
So I'm going to show you another way you could hit his hands that won't give you that circle if you want.
Yeah, okay.
But does that make sense now how you
Oh
got
yeah, it took his hand. I did his hand adjustment and it took it off.
well
Oh,
right
when we
now
resent
that
it.
shot has no correction right now.
Right. I
But
forgot. Okay.
now if you want, you can make all the wide shots a group and you can reapply a correction in there.
Oh,
So in the same way we just did it on that other angle,
okay. I have a random question because I'm
sure.
confused now. Okay, so from my understanding, I colored the clip and then we pulled it up and everything. Now we deleted it. Well, we grabbed the still of the color correction that I made so we could have it
Uh-huh.
as a preset. But then we went back in here and we deleted everything that I did, but we still have the preset.
Yes.
So my problem to begin with was on the clips where he's turned to the side, his chin looked too dark. So how did we take the pre-clip from a wide angle and put it on there and it doesn't make his chin look red now? Like how all of a sudden did it fix that? I'm very confused.
Well, it is the same correction, so I don't know.
But now it
Unless you're
doesn't look red at all. Like now it looks like the
well,
rest
right
of his
now,
face.
yeah, right now.
I'm kind of confused. Like, how did that fix itself?
Well, I'll have to look at what you originally did. I have your original timeline. Let's see. Did you move that around? Ah, you did. Okay. All right. So that's the issue.
Okay, I'm so confused.
So here's I'm going to show you my screen. So
Okay.
you can go back to what you originally did, but what I just showed you would probably be a better way if you had started this way. So let me show you so you can easily get back to where you were by restoring that project or uh, from your archive, or you can
Mhm.
even use a backup from before we made this last change. Because what's happening, I'm going to show you right now. So this is your original timeline. You see
Mhm.
that? So you tracked that, which
Right.
is great. The problem is when we break it all up into clips so that we can do something different on every one of them, all
Um,
that tracking goes away. So you'd have to retrack it. So
okay.
that's why we see the circle and why you weren't seeing it before.
Oh, okay, okay.
And probably there's something, let's get to that angle. Okay, so the red on his neck, it's because it's part of this circle right here.
Oh. See, the reason why he even has tracking on his hands is because his hands were like a pale white next to his
Sure.
face, and I got the face color perfect. And so I was trying to like look on the YouTube tutorials, use my brain and ask ChatGPT and stuff like that. So then that's when I remembered how to well, it was telling me like I could do it another way, but then I ended up just saying, well, I'm gonna mask it and I'm gonna
Yeah.
make it the same color. So then I did that and it looked great. And I thought that everything was everything until now when I didn't realize that I changed his face and everything else too. I was just trying to get his hands to match his face.
Yeah. So if you look at my screen, this is your original timeline with no changes. You
Mm-hmm.
see your tracking actually stops at this point. You didn't track any of these shots either.
Oh,
So that
I
window
thought I
just
tried
stays
the
there.
whole thing.
No, you tracked it here, you tracked it here. It's tracked on all these shots at the beginning, but at a certain point, the tracking
It
stops.
just stopped. Okay.
Yeah, right there, you see that window's
Mm-hmm.
not moving anymore. All these earlier shots, it is. So the thing that I showed you when you grab the still, it's not applying all those keyframes because now the shots are all a different length because we cut it up and defined the cuts. So you'd have to either retrack. The easiest thing would probably be retrack. But if you don't want to do that, then the main reason I think you're getting the red is because of this window right here. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
you focus it more on his hands. See what I'm doing? Make it a little smaller, a little narrower. Keep it off of his neck.
So would it just be smarter just in the future to just cut first and then do any other edits later?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna work with the autumn output like this, where it's one clip, but it's got cuts that happened while you were live, with your line cut basically, Um, I would use that method I showed you where you put the whole clip into one timeline and then you do the detect scene cuts, because then
Yeah.
it'll put cuts with there, actual cuts. And then I would take each angle and put it into a group so that you can now correct for that only that angle. Now, sometimes your corrections might be close to the same. Uh, but the one thing about it is, and the other thing about it that's to consider with that method is that tracking is going to be trickier because in the group method, the correction has to apply to every shot in that group. So if you start tracking that separately in the group pre-clip, you're going to have problems. But here's what you can do. So I'm going to take you back to my other timeline where I'm doing some of the scene detect and all this stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
because I want to show you another way we can try this. So right now, the group pre-clip, everything's got this hands thing in here, right? What
Yeah.
I might do is take that out of the group clip and then use it on the clip level and just do my window here. So I would add my circle, if I'm trying to stick with his hands or whatever, you know, because now I can do a separate one for each shot and it's not
Mm-hmm.
part of the group. So you're basically what you're trying to do is get your overall correction, what's called your primary color correction, done in the group level, because that means every angle gets that correction. And then if you want to do something like this, because this is what's called a secondary correction, you're isolating just a little part of the image and going, I just want to color correct that. So then at that point, you would do it at the clip level so that each one of these could have its own setup, right?
Yep.
So if I did, you can either use the tracker, which you obviously did before, you can manually move them, but then each one, I could have a different one. See, right now, there's nothing. There's a circle there, but not there, even though they're the same shot. But it is getting this group pre-clip. And now because I removed the circle in the group, it's gone on every shot. So now I can control it independently by just doing it here. Now, understand there's an order of operations here. This correction happens first, then this one, then this. So you could move it all into the post clip if you want to be able to correct his hands and then apply the correction. And then there's actually a fourth level which is timeline. That applies to the whole time, every shot in the timeline. So those are four levels of color correction. Start here, then you do this, then you do this, then you do this. And this happens to everything. And group pre-clip and group post-clip only happen to shots in that group. And clip only happens to that one shot. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, at this point, I would just, on each one that I wanted to do the hands thing on, I would just add a circle at the clip level, track it, and then go on to the next one. And what that allows you, that the method you're using right now doesn't allow you to do, is have control on every shot clip by clip,
Mm-hmm.
especially and be able to do something for an angle for the entire angle. So yeah, so if we come in here, we want to run our track. Okay, let's test this out. All right, that held on pretty well. We can come over here. And the cool thing is I could actually go, I could copy this node with that. I come over here to the clip level, I paste it in there, but the tracking is gone again. And that's okay because, oh, it's got some tracking, but it's not accurate anymore. So what we want to do is retrack it at this point. And then we'll retrack it to this shot. So now it's tracked just for that shot. So this shot has its own version of it that's tracked, and this shot has its own version that's tracked. But anything I do at the group level will be applied to either one of them. So if I came in here, did something crazy, all those shots have it now. But they don't have my circle until I put it in there because that's clip level. Let's get out of this horrible correction. I'm sure you don't want to show them that. Okay. Yeah, I think that so there's a lot you can do in the color page, and there's just a lot of different levels of it, but that will help you to, I think, isolate corrections to the shots that you want them on and be able to adjust things without screwing up everything else.
Yes, thank you. Because that on his face was just a no-go, and that circle.
Yeah, and so I believe it was the circle that was causing that. So
Yeah.
if you do it this way, you can track every shot independently, track the circle independently, so it'll look good on every shot. And you can move it if it's getting in the way or causing a problem.
Yeah. So just looking at the image, like, is there anything else that you would have, like, if you were editing it, would you have added or
Here,
taken
let's
anything
see.
away?
I'm going to take it down. Let me see what I would do with this. I'm going to get actually kind of, yeah, I'm sharing my screen. So I'm going to take it down to no color correction and kind of see what I would do with it.
Okay.
Okay, great. So I've gotten rid of all the groups, although I probably wouldn't want them, but that was the easiest way to get rid of those corrections. So we'll do that again. I'm just do the groups. I'm going to start with this. Actually, which I would usually start with a wide. That's my favorite way to kind of start developing a look. So I'm going to go ahead and put all the wide shots in the group real quick again. So I still have my old groups. I just took everything out of them. All right. So now all the wides, let's make sure we got them all. They all have the little chain icon now. Okay. So my monitor is a little bright. Like I said, it needs a calibration, but it should still be pretty accurate. So I'm going to try to color correct this. Let me bring up my scope too. I'm going to put my scope on another monitor, but I'll bring it back if I feel like there's something I should show you, because it's easier for me to work this way if it's on another monitor. Ding. All right. So the two scopes I'll use are either the waveform or the parade, because they're kind of the same thing, but they're different ways of looking at them, and the vector scope. So right now, I'll bring these down so you can kind of see. this is probably what I'd set up. Now I have my vector scope set up to be a 2x zoom. I like that because what it does, it moves all of this stuff out. So I can see a little more of it. It just makes it bigger, but it's outside of the range. Generally, you wouldn't want anything to be outside of those circles if the thing is not in the 2x, but I like to have that on because I can just see more. So these are the scopes I like to work with. So I'm going to put them back up on my other monitor, but I just wanted to show you that before we start.
Okay.
I mean, you can use other ones, and again, this is a matter of taste. You start to get used to them and understand what you're being told by them, and you make changes. So the first thing I noticed, because of this background, we got some clipping
Yeah.
way up at the top. Don't know if that's going to be fixable. Mainly what I'm looking at is that hard line right there. It's clipping in the blue channel.
Mm.
Uh, and it's over here because so on a parade or on a waveform monitor, it corresponds to the image. Bottom to top is brightness, and left to right tracks the picture. So like that part right there is him. Now, when you're in parade, you're seeing the three channels separate. So this is left to right on the red channel, left to right on the green channel, left to right on the blue channel. They're all separate. If you're looking at the waveform monitor, you actually see them all composited together, but it's actually the same information. But what I'm mostly interested in to start with is this really hard line up here. I want to see if there's anything I can do to kind of minimize that, get rid of that clipping. Nope, there's not. I was afraid of that.
Oh, shit.
So, but that's okay because that's our background. We're not as concerned about that. I was just curious if I had any information up there. So I just reset all that. So let's just focus on him for a little bit because that's the most important part of it anyway. So we're going to assume that the colors on the background can stay as they are. We don't really need to worry. Or if they get adjusted, uh, we're not as concerned about them. So I like to start with a qualifier on the skin tones. I turn this guy on, and that way I see just the skin tones. Looks like I've got a little more. I want to kind of isolate it as much as I can to just his skin. Now, because of the compression, we are getting some blocking. See that where it start like hard
Yeah.
edges? That's the compression in your file. There's really not a whole lot we can do about that unless you work with the camera files. But I'm gonna try to get a correction that's let's see. Maybe we'll focus on the highlights. There we go. We might do something with a window as well. Yeah, because I'd like to be able to hit his whole face. There we go. It's getting his jacket as well, but we'll deal with that separately. All right, so now I'm going to look at what's going on my scope. Bring it back over. Good news is that's your skin tone line. Looks like we're lining up pretty well,
Yes.
which means your white balance is probably pretty good.
Yeah.
I might try to see. That's saturation. I might bring that back a little. So I'm just adjusting saturation and curve, hue a little bit. I think we're plenty bright enough too. This is for brightness. And this, I guess, and I have that waveform. So like, yeah, that's pretty good. You want it in the mid-tones. If you want them brighter, you want them up here. We have some of that stuff is down here, but that's really these shaded parts of him. The brightest parts of his skin are pretty well exposed. Yeah. But if you felt like you needed some more, you could probably, I would go start with maybe the lift, just to something like that. And when you do that, I maybe want to bring the darker sides, add a little more contrast. So we're still just focusing on his skin tones, obviously.
Mhm.
So now right now it's working, the qualifier is working, meaning it's really that key we created, this one, only the parts of the image you're seeing that are not gray, that's the only thing that's being affected by this. But I like to do this. I'm going to reset the qualifier, which is this guy right here. I'm going to click on that. And now that correction is being applied to everything. I just kind of want to see. That's our correction. We brighten him up a little bit. We tweak the skin a little bit, but not much. And I don't mind this. What I am curious about is how is his white shirt doing? So we're going to do another qualifier just so we can see the white. Okay, so we do have a bit of a cast, right?
Yeah.
Um, Meaning we're getting more red than green or blue. That's his shirt right there.
Mhm.
So, but that's okay. We can probably fix that too. So I'm gonna try to get this qualifier to be a little more, if I can. Yeah, it's hard to isolate it to just the shirt, but let's try. Yeah. Unfortunately, the color of his shirt and the jacket are too close to qualify just the shirt. But let's see. Actually, looking at this, I think that's the shirt, that's the jacket. What color is his jacket? Is it tan or gray or what color was it?
It was 10.
Tan? Okay. So having that red might not be bad. We might want to try to neutralize that white
And
a
then
little more just to
the
get the
shirt underneath was more like a cream color.
Okay. So it might be okay. If we don't hate that color, because I wasn't in production, I don't know exactly what
Yeah.
colors they originally were, so that's why I asked.
Yeah,
But
I
I
don't
think
hate it.
yeah, I think it looks okay. So the
It
next
definitely
thing,
brought out the texture in the shirt.
yeah, the next thing I want to see. Okay, yeah, that's what I was curious about. So the bottom end, we are a little bit crushed down there. Again, this is all the stuff in the background. What I'm curious is, are we crushing here? No, I don't think we are. We have a little bit of range here. So we can maybe drop the shadows a little bit to get some contrast on him. So I'm going to use on the lift gamma gain. Go over to this one. I'm using my wheels. As you see, as I start pulling them down, those numbers are coming down.
Mhm.
So what I'm trying to do is kind of bring some of these darker areas on the image of him, like this area in his shirt. Yeah, if I undo that for a second or bypass it, see kind of detail we're looking at there. Oh, we want to put that in the group pre-clip anyway. I'm going to copy this note, put it in group pre-clip so that we're working on just the shots in this group. There we go. All right. So now, because I made that group ahead of time, every one of these wide shots has the same correction on right now. I kind of feel like I would want him maybe just a little bit brighter in the face.
A little bit.
Maybe
I
that's
was
enough.
thinking that too.
Yeah. And then maybe get a little contrast back in there.
I was wondering if there's a way. Well, I mean, I know there's a way, but like to bend the lighter, do you think that would be kind of unnecessary for the face?
To bend it, meaning, what are you talking about?
Like the curves?
Oh, to use the curves. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So just in the Y, you want to look at the Y,
Yeah, I'm like,
right?
do you think it's unnecessary to kind of like
No,
brighten?
that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. That's a nice way to do it.
Okay.
And the other thing, the nice thing about the curves that I like is then you can go in and hit the bottom end too.
Yeah.
Oh, that may be too much. Just a little bit of that. Let's see. So we're group pre-clip.
Oh,
Let's
I
see.
did a little too much.
Yeah, there we go. I think that looks pretty good. Now we are getting a little bit of banding. You see where you're starting to see these lines start to show up here in the sky or not the sky.
Yeah.
That's because again, it's a low res 8-bit codec, the MP4. It's the
Hmm.
compression. It's the compression again. So you have to be careful about pushing it too far. See, it gets a little worse when you color correct. It's there inherently, but I think I'm starting to like that. I might desaturate him a little more. Let's see. That's what I thought. There we go. Yeah, that takes some of the ruddiness out of his skin. Maybe give it a little more. That helps with he starts to look red like that.
Yeah.
Desaturation is going to help you. And you can also play with, you can do stuff in the curves. I don't know if you've done this, where you can actually separate the channels. So if we wanted to pull some of the red out of the highlights or the gammas, you can actually do it here as well. So like if I wanted to just hit the red channel, I don't know, don't love that, but that's, yeah, there we go. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Or if I wanted to go further in the red than the rest, I wouldn't, because that's when he starts to get that kind of ruddy look.
Mhm.
Maybe I desaturated him a little too much. There we go. Definitely think that's an improvement.
Yeah.
I'm playing with saturation. Ooh, that's a little better. I like that. He looks a little less desat, but we got rid of a lot of the red. And how is our darker areas looking? So cool. So now if I wanted to do a secondary correction on his hands. So right now, because we did the group, every one of these wide shots has that correction. So now if I wanted to separately do something on his hands, because I see what you're talking about, his hands do look a little pale compared to the
Mhm.
rest of him. I think they're probably just getting a lot more of that key just with the angle of the light. So I'd say maybe, yeah, we're going to do I like the window method because I think that's going to be your best bet. So that was a good choice. Um, because qualifying on this kind of compressed footage is going to be difficult, but you could try it. Let's try that first, actually. So now I'm going to come to the clip level. We did all that main stuff correction on the group pre-clip, but now we go to clip. And let's try to get this. So I'm going to qualify this. Yes, it's hitting his face too. But what we could do is you could do a combination of a qualifier. Oh, that's way too much. And a window, which might be the better way to handle it. And now I'm going to do something down here, the blur radius. I'm going to bring that up. Gives it a little bit softer, right? So it's really
Mhm.
hitting. Now I'm isolating this kind of bright part of his hand, which is kind of the, we've also got his face, but here's how we're going to fix that. We're also going to add a window. See that?
Mhm.
So I can use those things together to really try to focus this effect on his hands. And then we can go ahead and track it. Okay. So now I'll turn off the qualifier. So now this correction has happened in the group pre-clip, that overall general correction, but now we can come over here and we can mess with just his hands. So let's see. So really they're just a little bright. So I'm gonna start with the lift or the gamma gain. The gain, so I just dropped that a little bit. Already that's helping. Yeah, maybe even more. So I'm not really working too much on color. I'm really just looking at the luminance levels.
That's what I should have been adjusting.
So now we're trying to get a better match to his face, and I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
And all I did was worked with the gamma and the gain, these two. Just basically the rings on the outer rings, I pulled them both to the left a little bit.
Mhm. Let me try that again.
I might even go there. Yeah, that's even a little bit better. And if it looks like it's desaturating it a little much, because as you start to do that in might, you can just pump up the saturation a little bit. That's maybe a little bit. There we go. To make it match his face a little more.
Yeah. Let's see.
So there you go. That's our before. Now it is hitting the jacket a little bit, but it's not really offensive. And actually it's adding a little contour and giving the jacket some depth or some, what do you call it, modeling. But I think this works pretty well to deal with that issue of his hands being a little bit bright.
Mhm.
Let's watch it play. Start and make sure I'm at the beginning. That shot currently has no correction on it, so we'll start roll into the new one. Yeah, that looks better for sure. Definitely looks better than that. That's what I would do. You ask me what I'd do, that's what I'd do. Right there.
So you brighten them up.
Yeah, so I that's really what I did. I brightened him up. I adjusted the skin tones very slightly, played with the saturation overall, and then I did the hand thing.
Will
And that's,
will your version also be saved?
yeah, I can save it for you.
Okay.
I mean, I could save it out. I can save it out the same way you saved yours. Just give you a new Resolve project with a new name. I'll put it in the Dropbox with the recording.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but that's it. So the corrections are happening here and here.
Okay, that's definitely not what I did at first.
Well, and because I did the scene detect thing, now I have isolation. You see, there's no hand correction on that. I'd have to do the hand correction on each
Yeah,
one. But what I can do is this. I can copy this node. So I
grab,
select it,
you know.
and I hit Command C, copy, and then
Mm,
I go to the next one, Command V, I put it right in there. Now I'm going to have to retrack it each time because the tracking's not right. But all we do is just come to a tracker, do our back and forth. There we go. Now we've got new tracking.
okay.
Now he moves his hand a little bit there. So you may want to make that one a little bit bigger. Yeah. And so the great thing is that you only are making it bigger for that shot. The one over here is still the same size as it was.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the benefit of doing this is you're tracking that element independently on every shot. But you've got an overall correction in your group that works for the shot in general. That's your primary. The hands are your secondary. So let's see. Now let's see if we can do one other shot. Like maybe we'll do this angle now. Because then we want to try to match it. So I'm going to put these in that other group. Cool. That looks good. So we'll put these into the medium. So I'm going to get rid of this. This was our original correction. And I'm going to pull a new correction here. Although it won't, you know what? So when you pull a still, it only actually gives you the correction at the clip level. It does not give you the correction here, the group level. So what we can do though is we can basically, since we just put all of these in a group, we can take the group pre-clip. I think we can do this. Do it here. I'm just going to copy this node. So we're going to use this as a starting point for this angle too. So we'll go into group pre-clip and we'll paste that right there. Pretty close right off the bat. That's because your cameras are very well matched. Honestly, I'm looking at the scope. I don't know if there's much to do on that other than that because his hands aren't in this shot. Might be a little contrasty from this angle. So what I might do then is play with, I think let's play with these curves. Let's reset this for a second. I still like that. We'll leave that like that. Let's go over here. Maybe it's got a little too much. We need to do that. Yeah, I'm liking that better. See what that looks full screen. It's a little too bright. Yeah.
So how do oh man, how do I get back to my original edit? Like with my
So
codes and everything.
if you want to get back to your original, there's a couple of ways you could do that. This is your timeline, timeline one. If you right click on it, If you have any backups, it'll show up. It'll be restore timeline backup. You might not have any backups. Let me ask you this. Did you turn on under user? Is all this turned on?
What?
See what I'm showing you here? This is in the project save and load under preferences user. I want to see if you have your timeline backups turned on. This thing right here mainly.
Oh, timeline backups. I don't know. Let me see. Uh, I had to pull back up my Zoom. I couldn't find you for a second.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay,
If
and
that's on you, then you might have timeline backups.
I'm sorry, can you go back to it?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Trying to see which one it was under. Project save and load. Yes, it's on.
Okay. So if that's on and you right click on your original timeline,
Okay.
there's this thing that says restore timeline backup. And you should see some versions back there, basically date stamped, date and time stamped.
I don't have that option.
Okay. So if you don't have that option, that means it hasn't backed anything up yet. Uh, you can rename your, so I would do this then. I close my project. I'm sorry. Oh, come on. Here we go. File, close current project. Then I'm going to rename it. I'm going to call this project new because it's got the new work in it, right? Now I can just restore the original project from my drive again, and it'll be back to the way it was when I first started.
Just rename it.
Yeah, because that way when you bring it back in, it won't. Now look, because I did mine is relinked automatically. And the reason why is because of this. See, this time when I restored it, it didn't come up off a line. It was automatically there.
Mine won't go back to my original.
Yours won't do that. You'll have to do the change folder, source folder.
Confused.
What are you confused about?
Because I closed out the project and everything. I open it back up. It opened back up, but it doesn't have like my original node trees and stuff.
Well, you're not going to open it back up. You're going to drag the original back in and make a new project.
Oh,
So now see, I have two projects. That's the one where all my changes are, project new. But the original is right here, project. So because I renamed that, now I can bring the original back in and it'll have the right name.
okay.
And then you have two projects. And you can bring things together. There are ways if you want to get everything consolidated into one project, you can.
Let's see. And project. Did it do it? I have to do my source clip thingy again, of course.
Yes.
Let's see if I remember it. Now it's your time to shine, Brittany. Oh man, Brittany, don't screw it up. You almost got it. You almost got it. Ha. I think. Yep. Let's see. Change. I did it.
All right.
I remembered. And they're all back. Thank you.
Yep. So now you have that. You have two copies. You have basically the changes you did today, and you have what you started with.
Yes. Because now I'm like, okay. Because I like what I had, but I want to change it. due to some of the stuff you showed me today.
Sure. Yeah, and I'll save this project. I'll call it, here, actually call it project. I'll call it Brett Changes. So I'll save that one on there. You won't need any new media. It's the same media. So you just link back up to that. But I will give you the DRP along with the recording, the Zoom recording.
Okay. And so I can fix my tracking, right?
Yeah, and so that you fix all the tracking at the clip level. This is the original.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me write this down right now because I want to do all of this. Fix, tracking, take out some saturation.
And you'll be able to see when you look at mine all the different things I did because these little icons each tell you what happened.
Yeah.
So those icons, and then when you roll over, it tells you all the things. Also, when you see the little red light up there, that means there's something from in that node in that tab. We did a little of this, we did a little of this, we did a little of this, and we tracked.
Gotcha.
And then
So back on hand. Need to open up my tracker. Make it smaller. So the pink circles on the tracker, which is the outer circle, I want that part to be around his hands, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So when you're on if you've got a shot that's got some reason
I'm trying to track it correctly this time.
yeah, for some reason my groups got unassigned. Let me just put these back in. Should be all of them, right? Here we go. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So you're talking about these colored lines right here, right?
Yeah, like how small should I have it around his
So
hands or how big?
basically the way this works is whatever's in the center circle is
Mhm.
fully visible. As you move out, you're actually it's slowly
Feathered. Like,
feathered. Yeah, exactly.
gotcha.
Exactly. But since you're doing it with the qualifier is selecting the hands. The feathering is just kind of to keep it from affecting his face and some other things. But you don't want to see a hard line. That's why I always like to add some feathering for sure.
Um, so when I was, this is kind of off the subject. When I was trying to edit his skin, ChatGPT kept saying, go to the skin qualifier and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, I'm already in the qualifier. How do I get to the skin qualifier? And I got confused with that. So,
Well, it's probably there is no really thing called the skin qualifier. This is the qualifier. You use
okay.
it to qualify skin. ChatGPT frequently, in my experience, it can be very helpful, and I use it a lot, but sometimes it's wrong.
Yeah.
It says things that I'm like, that's not even a thing. So the qualifiers is these are all the different things you can do in color. You know, these two you probably will never use. This is for raw. This is a calibration
Mm-hmm.
set. This is the main one. And then within those, you've got three different ways of dealing with those. You know, all these things have multiple ways of handling it. So each one has its own kind of, so this is your noise reduction, your curves, your blur, your color warper, and there's a few different ways of dealing with that. There's your qualifier, which is your skin qualifier, really. There's a few ways. This is HSL, hue, saturation, and luminance.
Mm-hmm.
This is an RGB, which we don't want because we selected it that way. See, when I go there, it changes it.
Where's the hue versus hue again?
Well, that's a slightly different one. That's in the curves
Mm.
here. There's a few different ways you can use the curves. They all do different things. This is the kind of conventional way. I like this one, the hue versus hue, because I can select certain elements and you see it plots it on the thing. Like
Yeah.
if you got a lot of green spill, you guys should be good because you've got lots of distance in there. But a lot of studios I work at, sometimes they're smaller. You can't get somebody too far away from the green. So you can
Mhm.
kind of counter the green by doing this. See now it's turning his hands pink, but it's just isolating it to that color on his hands. It's another way of qualifying.
Gotcha.
Um, and yeah, that's in the curves. This is a blur or color slice. I haven't used this one. Or this can be cool to kind of get rid of very specific things as well. Qualifier. There's a few different ways of using the qualifier. They're just different modes. You figure out the ones you like. Uh, Magic Mask. This is a great tool if you haven't played with this. Have you ever messed
That's
with
what I
this one?
tried to do to his hands at first, and then I ended up just doing the circle thing.
Well, so let's try this for a second. We'll let's reset the circle. We'll take it off. And we'll reset the qualifier too, because the color correction will keep. Reset just those two, right? And then let's try to magic mask it. Did pretty well there. Let's see how it does when we run it.
Okay, there it is. And then before I deal with that,
Magic mask is when it works, it's great. It doesn't always work. That's the problem with it. It's AI. It's very cool
okay,
AI.
so wait, after you click the dots on the hands, then what? Because that was my issue.
So you click the dots and then you hit the back and forth button. It's a tracker, just like
Oh,
on the other one. So it's tracking right now.
oh, that would have
Okay.
been so much easier.
So there you go. So now we've isolated his hands.
Yeah.
So
That
now,
I knew I was onto something yesterday, and then I got
yeah.
confused, and I immediately switched
So
over to
you
the
could do
circle.
that instead of doing the qualifier with this window, you can do what we just did there, which is now it's
Yeah,
only on
that's
his hands.
faster.
And if you turn this on, you can see what's being selected. That's perfect. It's isolating his hands only.
Yep.
Now you'll have to do it on each of these, but you could do so you can copy this node, copy, and then go and do it, paste it on there. Now, right now, it's not actually uh, been tracked. But there's this thing here, which is, I'm sorry, this one right here, toggle mask overlay. And what that'll tell you, so we may need to reset just this. We'll start again. There you go. See, it selected one hand. It made it red.
Yeah.
That's your mask overlay. We need to get the other one, so we'll click again. There we go. And
Mm.
now if you want to see it with just the key, you can turn this guy on. Okay, now we know. Got the hands only.
Mm-hmm.
But now I have to track it again, so we hit this button again. And we let it do that. This is probably go a little faster on your machine because it's a little newer and better.
No, it's going slow on mine.
Uh,
I'm still tracking his hands. It says 4 minutes remaining for mine.
but you're tracking the whole thing. I'm just tracking single shots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you're doing it in your original project, you're tracking the
Yeah,
whole
I
thing.
didn't slice it up yet.
Yeah. And that'll give you trouble because when it runs into the other shots where the hands are in a different place, it's not going to know what to do. So you
Really?
probably
I thought the AI was gonna pick it up. Dang.
no, it's not quite that smart.
Dang, okay. Thought I had
And
it in the bag.
no, you probably do want to do that, breaking it up into clips, because that way you
Gotcha.
can just do each one and you can use this method to do
Will
it.
do. God bless you.
Yeah, it's even handling him pulling his hands apart. It's doing pretty well. This thing
Yeah.
is cool. I when I was doing visual effects for a living, I use this thing all the time for rotoscoping, just for quick things that you needed to get somebody walks in front of something or
Yeah.
it's really
Smart.
all right. So there you go. Now that one's ready. Turn that off. And the reason they're so red is because I still have this guy on.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's telling me what it's isolating is. But again, we can now look at it. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, you can do that. That's actually a nicer way. It looks a lot better. You're not running into you're not touching anything anywhere else. You're only hitting the
Mm-hmm.
hands. Yeah, it's great. So yeah, you can just come over here, copy it, come to the next one, paste. I would just, when you're doing that, just reset this part
Every time, yeah.
and then just do it again. Turn this on to check it. Looks good. Back and forth.
Easy breezy. Might as well. I don't know why I thought to just do the whole thing. Might as well.
Yeah, it will probably, as soon as it hits a cut, it's going to get very confused because
Mm-hmm.
it assumes it to be close to where it was. It assumes it to be a continuous shot.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to do it on something that's actually got edits baked into it, it's probably going to get confused.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do the thing where you break it up and you do this method, it should work very well for you. Now, sometimes you see it's not perfect, but I'll show you what we can do when we finish this. If you are running into problems with it and you don't love it, there are some refinements you can do without rerunning it.
Okay.
This looks like a longer clip. Yeah, this is a pretty long clip. That's why it's taking so long. Let it finish. See, what you get these little errors. You see these little black spots coming in where it's actually getting like part of his sleeve,
Mm-hmm.
and you see a little bit of the white back there from his shirt or the cream colored shirt. That's coming in a little bit in between his fingers. But what we can do, there's a couple things. These parameters right down here, you can adjust the matte after you've made it. You can add a blur to it. You can change it from the faster to the better quality, which will have to retrack if you do that, and it will
Mm-hmm.
take longer, but sometimes it's worth it. I always go with the faster because sometimes I get a good result and it takes less time. But if I start to see issues with it and I can't get it to adjust by playing with this stuff, then I'll turn on the better mode. And this node also exists in Fusion, so you can use Magic Mask inside of Fusion as well.
Mm. Nice.
All right, there we go. That's the end of it.
Just finished. Let me know
So,
how crazy it's gonna look.
so yeah, probably what I would do with this one, just to kind of make it a little nicer, because you see we get some edge, some stair-stepped edge. That's from the compression again. But we can go ahead and again play with the blur radius. There we go. It just softens the edges a little bit. Now we got this. That's probably not going to be a problem, but you got some little errors like that that are coming in, but I don't think you're going to notice them when you're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. It's isolated to his hand. Yeah, that's definitely the way I would do this. Approach it that way. Using the group clips
Mm-hmm.
and just using now if you find that having it in the pre-clip is not working for you when you want to do this hands, you could put it in the post clip instead. But then you have to recorrect because remember then that means so what's happening is this correction happens and then this happens on top of that correction. So
Mm-hmm.
if you wanted it, if for whatever reason it was causing you problems and you wanted it before that correction, you could then put this correction, take it out of group pre-clip. So I'll do a copy, reset, and then put it in group post-clip. Now basically it's doing the hands before the whole correction. And it's looks different for sure. But the hand adjustment's still there, yeah. Yeah. It's just being done slightly different. Now that hand adjustment's being done on the original clip, the uncolored clip, and then we're color correcting on top of it. So it's all about that order. Goes top to bottom. That happens first, then that, then that, then that. And every one of them happens on top of the what you did before. Now, there's some other nodes you can get into. I'm not going to go all the way over them today because they're a little more involved than we have time for, but look them up online and you can learn to do some other very interesting stuff. The parallel, the layer, and the outside. What we've been working with is serial nodes. So
Mm-hmm.
they work in basically each one feeds the other. So there are ways with parallel nodes and layer nodes to separate things out and then recomposite them and put them back together. So they're more advanced and don't get used as much, but they can be very fun. All three of these. Serial before is just putting it in front of instead of after. So that's not really a different node, it's putting it in a different place. But yeah, the parallel is cool. See, you can feed basically two corrections into one, and then you mix them in here. And the layer node is a similar type of thing, but it works a little bit differently. Sorry, oh, there's these two. Layer mixer, parallel mixer, layer mixer. That's your traditional parallel, layer, keyer, splitter, combiner, and then also when you're just adding a node here,
Mm-hmm.
you can do some other things like that. So that's all the other different kinds of nodes. The main difference is those allow you to separate out things and then recombine them later.
Okay.
But most of the colorists I know almost always work with just the correctors. These are very special case scenario when you would want to use these, but they're worth exploring and learning how to use them. I like the layer one because I can. So if you're using masks like this, you can actually combine things. So if I wanted to, not in this setup that we have here, but I could do two corrections, one for the overall shot and one for his hands, and then combine them in this. So I could add like another node, just a corrector node coming out of here. And then
That's the only
whatever.
thing I don't like. I get making all these notes, but I don't really understand feeding them into one another. Like for what?
Yeah, so right now, yeah, this one, you can combine them here. This is the layer mix. Yeah, so there we go. Now that one, yeah, it's working too. So that's exactly what I just did right there. I combined them. I did some correction there. We still have our group correction, or we could if we wanted to. Looks like it's gone. Yeah, I reset it. That's why, because I pasted it. So now I can come over here to clip, paste that correction there. There it is. So this is an interesting way to do this shot too. I would not do it this way because of the fact that I like to use the group method, and this would actually make it harder to do that. But what's happening here is because we have a layer mixer,
Yeah.
we're doing this correction, which is my overall correction. And then because we have a key and another correction here, I'm just layering that on top. So it's actually coming from the original shot right there. Instead of going to this first and then doing that,
Mm-hmm.
we're basically coming from source on both of them and then combining them here. So
Okay.
that's the difference. And
Okay.
that's a layer mixer. So add node, layer mixer.
Gotcha.
Parallel mixer is similar, but parallel mixer basically kind of blends the two corrections together.
Mm-hmm.
The layer mixer treats them like layers, and if you have a mat created by a mask or by a shape or a magic mask or something like that, it will use that to lay it on top of that, which is exactly what we saw. See, right now that's only happening there. And if I see that,
Mm-hmm.
the hands are not changing because they're not affected by this correction.
Gotcha.
But if I go back to the old way
Everything.
and I go and put that correction there, now when I do this, the hands do change, but there's still a correction on the hands. It's just its source is this correction
Okay.
instead of the original shot. That's the way we're working right now, which is totally fine. Either one of those is a very legitimate way to work. It really just depends on what you're trying to do, what you need to achieve. So,
Right.
but it's worth learning what those other nodes do and how they work because something may come up where you're like, I want to do this, and then you realize, oh, I could probably use one of those nodes to do that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So those are very specialized things where you're really trying to isolate colors and layer them and mix them in different ways, but they can be useful for sure. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, any other questions or anything before we wrap this up?
Um, what did I just do? No, I think, yeah, no, I think I got it. Think I
Okay.
got it for today.
Sounds good. All right. So this is actually the full 8 hours. So I'm going to bill Josh now. But if you guys want to do anything else, let me know.
I
Uh,
definitely told him that I want to, so I'll let you know.
great. And yeah, check out that video I sent in the chat for the
Yeah,
keyer for the Ultimate. I think that's a good one to look at because that was actually made by Blackmagic.
yeah.
So they'll probably go through the technical stuff about how to. I think they go through the procedure of how you do it. I haven't watched that one, but just looking at it, I'm pretty sure. The way I do it is I start on that media tab. I do the auto key. I adjust the veil. I do the matte processing. It worked real well at your studio because that studio is very well lit and those cameras are set up very
Mm-hmm.
nicely. So you should be able to get something that looks really good.
Okay. I sure will try.
All right.
Thank
Well, it was a
you.
pleasure, and I hope we get to do it again soon.
It definitely was. And yes, me too. I will reach out to ASAP.
Okay, sounds good. And
Thank
I'll put this project and the recording in that folder.
Yes, thank you so much.
Sure. Bye-bye.
Bye.